Hi, garden friends. I am here with Science Kit number 11. This is our third week of our tree unit, and this week we're learning about the tree life cycle. So this video is for my second and third graders. Anyone is welcome to watch it, but I will be doing the worksheets that went home for second and third grade. So let me start by sharing the text with you. Trees grow just like many other plants do. They start from a seed. This week, we will learn about the stages in a tree's life cycle and the terminology, the scientific words, to describe these stages. Pine trees are in a group of plants called gymnosperms. These are also called coniferous trees. This means naked seed. Think of how an apple protects its seeds. A gymnosperm does not have that protection. A pine tree seeds are in the air attached to the pine cone. Just like with flowers on fruit and vegetable plants, when the pollen from a male pine cone reaches a female pine cone, it fertilizes the cone so seeds can grow. When the seeds are ready, the pine tree will drop the cone to the forest floor. Animals may take the pine cone apart to eat the seeds, or the pine cone may gradually break down with exposure to wind, rain, and sunshine. Some seeds will have a chance to sprout and grow, and then the cycle begins all over again. Oak trees are in a group of plants called angiosperms, also called deciduous trees. This means enclosed seed. Angiosperms produce their seeds inside of a fruit. Sometimes what we think of as a fruit we can eat, a soft, fleshy, and sweet fruit like an apple or a peach. There are other foods also classified as a fruit in botany or the science of plant life. Even though from a culinary or cooking perspective, we may think of them as a grain like rice and wheat, a vegetable, corn, pumpkin, and tomato, or spices like chili pepper and allspice. The fruit protects the seed until it is ripe and helps to disperse the seed. Animals will often eat the fruit and deposit the seeds away from the parent plant. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go to your science notebook and you're going to update your KWL chart. So if you've been keeping up with it, you should have lots written down in your know and your want to know column. And if you haven't had a chance to update the L, you can think about what you've learned the past couple of weeks about trees and update that learned column. And then take a moment to think about what else you want to know about trees and add to the W column. So the next step is we're going to complete our tree life cycle worksheets. You want to have your science notebook ready in case you had any notice or wonderings that you want to write down while you're working on your worksheet. You can make notes in there. So here's what my second and third graders have. You have a text-based life cycle of an oak tree. So you have 2 pages of this. And what you're going to do with the first page, obviously, is you're going to cut it out. And then you're going to put them in the appropriate order on the second page. So I apologize, I forgot to tell you at the beginning to go over materials. You'll want scissors and you'll want glue, or tape actually would be fine too. And then you may also want, you'll need a pencil, and you may want crayons or markers or colored pencils, something that you can use for the second part of our activity, because you'll be doing some drawing and you might want to draw in more than just regular pencil. If you want to draw in just regular pencil though, that is totally fine too. So I am cutting my sentence strips apart, step 1. And after I do that, I guess you could have read them first. I didn't think to read them first. But after I do this, I'm going to read them and see if I can figure out what order they should go in. So this has 6 steps of the life cycle of an oak tree. If you remember from the introduction, oak trees are deciduous trees, or they are also called angiosperms. That's a new word for this week, angiosperm. Okay, so this sentence says, the seedling produces its own food through photosynthesis and keeps growing. Now I know that can't be step one because step one is going to have to be like I planted a seed. So this is maybe around 2 or 3. I'm not going to glue it down yet because I haven't read everything, so I'm not totally sure where that one goes. This says the seedling grows slowly into a sapling, getting taller, wider, and stronger. So I think this one might follow this one. I'm not positive they're 3 and 4 yet, so I'm not going to glue them down, but I think they do go next to each other. Here we go. Through the winter, the acorns may begin to germinate. Now that could be step 6 or it could be step 1. I think I'm going to put it on step 1 first. This is kind of fun, you guys. I haven't worked with one of these before. I'm used to the ones with pictures, but I thought this text one would be fun. Roots spread down into the soil and a shoot begins to grow up out of the soil. So I know that this is going to be before my seedling is producing its own food. So I'm going to put it here, but again, I'm not going to glue it down yet. You may want to work with the order before you glue anything down. The sapling grows into a mature oak that produces acorns. Okay, so the sapling, there we go, follows this one, right? The seedling grew into a sapling in this stage, and so then the sapling grows into a mature oak that produces acorns. Here, the squirrel collects the acorns that fall from the mature tree in the fall and buries them for winter food. Ho ho! So, you know, kind of the way it was a circle, it's cyclical, right? So the squirrel collects the acorns and buries them for winter food. And then up here, through the winter, they germinate. And it just keeps going. It's a cycle, right? That's what we mean when we say something's a cycle. It continues through these same steps through the year. So I think this is the correct order. So I'm ready to glue down. So we have germination, and then we have shoots and roots. And then we have a seedling that begins photosynthesis. And then we have a seedling that grows into a sapling, and a sapling that grows into a mature oak that produces acorns. And then we have a little bit of animal help. The squirrel collects the acorns and buries them for winter food. So whatever that squirrel didn't eat might germinate. That was fun. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this text to make a graphic life cycle of the oak tree. So you have this page, has the same 6 spots, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's got some dashed lines underneath. I'm not totally sure what words it's looking for there because I don't have that right in front of me. But what I really wanted you to focus on for this one was to do some drawing. So if we consider this one our number 1, so that is germinate. Let's see if germinate fits in this spot. Maybe germination. There we go, germination. So, germination. How would I draw a picture of germination? Well, I know that my seed has to be, what's happening there? The seed would have to be underneath the soil. I'm going to grab a pencil. So the seed has to be under the soil. So I'm going to draw some soil. And then I'm going to come down here and, let's see. Acorns kind of have a specific look, don't they? They have like a little cap. And then they're like this shaped. Let's see if I got it. There we go. So there's my little seed that's hopefully going to start to germinate. So then the next step, oh boy, I'm going to need you guys to help me on this. You're going to go through. So the next thing is that roots spread down into the soil and a shoot comes up out of the soil. So I was calling it roots and shoots, but they obviously wanted us to have a specific word there, didn't they? So I'm going to have roots. Let's see. So I can still see my acorn. And then it's got its little cap. And then I've got some roots coming down. Then I'm going to have a shoot coming up. That looks like a funny ant, doesn't it? Let's see. Will that take sprout? S-P-R-O-U-T. Sprouted? Oh, I'm just making it up now. And then, so if we look at our text again, the next one's going to be a seedling. So a seedling looks like a tree, but it's still pretty small, right? So here's my dirt. And I'm going to have a little narrow tree, maybe just starting to do leaves over here. There's my seedling. Let's see. Will that fit? Seed. Nope, maybe it wants sapling. Oh, but I think the sapling was the next one. Well, don't worry about the little dashes under there. Focus on your drawing. This is the drawing part. Okay, so then, let's see. So we had germination, roots and shoots, seedling. The next thing is that it's going to grow into a sapling. So now the tree is going to be much bigger, taller than, maybe taller than a lot of you, probably taller than me even, right? With lots of leaves. And don't forget the roots. It'll have nice deep roots once it's a sapling. And then it's going to grow into a mature oak tree that produces acorns. You can go out of the boxes if you need to make your tree big enough. Remember, acorns are usually kind of brown, so if you, when you get to coloring these in, you can make your acorns brown, but your leaves will all be green. Okay, and then over here, the squirrel collects the acorns that fall from the tree. So you could draw a squirrel here. I think that this is looking for the word seed. So you could just draw an acorn. Remember, acorns have that cute little, it looks like they have a hat on. Okay, and then after you get your drawing done, you can color. If you drew like I did with just plain pencil, you can go back and color, or you can color them along as you're doing it. So there's your 6 steps of the oak tree. Whoops, I forgot to label this one. This is the mature. Mature means grown up. We're going to call that the mature oak. And we didn't label this one. I think I would call it roots and shoots. Alrighty, I look forward to seeing how you do your oak tree drawings. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry, this video came out really long. I'm just looking at the timing. It took me a while to draw. All right, thanks, garden friends.